Kia ora, good morning. There's something that I need to correct out there in the world of readers and psychics and mediums and clairvoyants and whatever it is you want to call yourself. I don't say this to be disrespectful, because you are running on an old system, an old way of doing things, an old way or an old knowledge. You're running on and you're reading off an old playbook, but it's not your fault because you're not physicists and you're not gatekeepers, and your ancestors don't remember when they were minerals and gases on other planets and other parts of the universe and all that. So, but that's what I'm here for. I'm here to teach you. Please, please, please stop saying time is not linear, meaning it's not like a line. Time doesn't run on a line, like pinpoint. Time isn't pinpoint. It's not like a line between the beginning of time to now, in a pinpoint, like string theory. Sorry. As a time jumper, as the person who developed and mastered the science of quantum magnetics, which is manipulating time to manifest reality, because I manifest what I want through word and through writing it down, through language and through speaking and writing and all of that. To get what I want. But in order to manifest, you have to know what it is you want. There's an end point to it. When you start your journey out, when you start figuring out on your ascension what it is that you want to do with your life, or what it is that you are here for, once it's locked in place, like in your chest, and this is what God and my ancestors put me here for, you stop at nothing to manifest the end result. That means it's linear. You've made time linear because you've set your sights on a target, you've set your sights on a goal, and you've put you've got your headlights on and you're like, vroom, off. That means it's linear. You can't move forward. Time can't evolve. The universe can't expand without there being the conscious awareness that somewhere out there's got to be an end goal. That means it's linear. However, where you are right is that time is fluid, because time exists all at once. So the past, present and future have already existed, are already existing, and will keep existing all at the same time. But how time balances itself out is by the conscious decisions and choices that we make, and bearing in mind everything in the universe is conscious, so everything is deciding its own fate out in the universe, and has done since the Big Bang, because the universe is conscious, and conscious evolution is biological, it's organic. You do it without even thinking. You live your life, you get up, you live your existence without even thinking about it, unless you've got to make choices and decisions. What am I going to wear? What am I going to eat? Should I answer this call? Should I shower first? These are all things we make, trillions and trillions and trillions of decisions and choices every day, without even thinking about it. Whether you switch hands with your fork, voluntary and involuntary movement is making choices on a conscious level, and because your conscious mind in reality, in the 3D physical world, isn't aware of itself. It just does what it does instinctually. The body just exists. The human, mankind just exists instinctually, because it is for the greater purpose of anything biological to want to advance itself. It's fighting to survive. Biology is fighting to survive and has done since the beginning of all time. So in those very choices and decisions you make, time is linear. However, you have to also take into calculations the fact that what if you didn't put your hand there? What if you just wore those shoes and that pants instead of that skirt and that jacket? What if you did answer the call? What if you decided to go left instead of right? What if you decided not to cover your face when you sneezed? Like, all of these things happen based on a probable and possible probability. So, like Albert Einstein, everything has an equal and an opposite. And depending on, she's probably going to do this, he's possibly going to do that. And depending on what you say, what you do, how you act, what your body does instinctually, because you're just intuitively driven to want to turn left and stop at the shop instead of going straight ahead and going to the supermarket, sort of thing. Like, that changes everything on a dime for every other person playing the same game as you. And every single one of our choices is like locking and unlocking time codes for us that kind of move us like a pinball without even thinking about it, like a GPS system kind of running on like a pinball, bing bong, bing bong, like, all based on your choices and decisions and everybody else's choices and decisions, and that includes everything else in the universe. So when you pan back and look at time from that point of view, or turn around from the pinpoint line, to look back at what the choices you could have made, and the choices they all could have made, and the choices we all could have made, all simultaneously at that moment you chose to go left instead of straight ahead, it would look like a sheet of paper that was like infinite. You couldn't see where it started and it ended, but when you turn back and look back at what you were focused on, linear, it looks like a pinpoint line. So time is linear, but it is also fluid, because time exists all at once, and the course of time's path is all based on the choices and actions of every other person, creature, animal, mineral, vegetable on the planet. All at the same time, which means it's fluid. But to everyone listening to this, where it's resonating with them what I'm saying, time has now become linear, laser focused, like a satellite beam. So it's not your fault you didn't know, but now you know. So you can either stop saying it or take time in your videos to just give it a quick once over about, I used to think time was linear, but I've just learned that it's both linear and fluid. And just when you make a decision. It looks like a pinpoint light laser beam, and when you turn around and look at all the decisions and choices you could have made but didn't, it looks like a never-ending sheet of paper waiting to be written on. But the pencil's linear, and you're the artist. You're the one that is doing the illustration to your own storybook, the art of creation. That's why it's called the Art of Creation Foundation and the Art of Creation, the TV show. So now you know.